Welcome back into the black. My guest today, we are here with State Representative Mike Smith, Republican in the Delaware House District 22. He's been doing that since 2018.
Feels longer, though.
I bet. He is not just any state representative, though, from Delaware. He is a jack of all trades who is skilled in legislative lingo, as he is in dodging soccer balls on the weekend and asking the hard questions on his podcast. Mike's a real-life superhero, balancing the demands of politics, youth sports coaching, and training to win the Letty's Fried Chicken Eating Contest.
One day.
He's got stories that'll make you laugh, insights that'll make you think, and a day planner that's probably a cry for help. Let's welcome Representative Mike Smith, our first official guest on Into the Black.
Yeah, there we go.
Round of applause.
Perfect.
What's up,
official.
man?
I'm officially official.
You
now.
are officially official.
Yeah.
And I had to have an official.
Oh, that makes sense. Oh, that,
for
yes.
the official
I love that.
first episode.
And my day planner is awful. I get stressed out when I look at it. But that's okay.
Freaking bad. I can't even imagine. First question here. What is it like representing a state that actually people truly believe that does not exist?
Yeah, it's really interesting when you talk to people across the country. They either think you're a suburb of Philadelphia or they've driven on 95 through it and they wonder what it is. No one knows it's the first state from a historical perspective. And so unless people are coming from somewhere to go to the beach, or they move here for work or something, it's really funny. Delaware, why would you live in Delaware?
Do you always get the Delaware?
Delaware, yeah, no, literally, yeah, absolutely. That's why suburb of Philadelphia, they can wrap their minds around that.
There's actually a group on Facebook that it's like Delaware does not exist.
Oh my gosh!
And they post memes about Delaware not existing.
I like a good meme. I'm okay with that. As long as it's memes, I'm okay with that. Yeah. It's true though. I will say though, for people that are even from Philadelphia, we have an easier time getting to the stadiums than people from downtown Philly.
That's so true.
So
it's not that hard. That's why I kind of love Delaware and its non-existence.
Yeah, yeah.
Because literally, it's kind of like we're in Maryland, we're in Pennsylvania, we're in New Jersey. I don't want to maybe not be there, but
it is funny when you talk to people too, how they'll complain I have to drive to Dover today, or I have to drive to the beach. It's like people in Los Angeles wait in traffic that are 15 miles away longer than we have in a state.
Right.
It's crazy.
My sister Kelly lives in DC and she calls me. She has to go 10 miles. It takes her an hour.
Yeah, right. It's just we are I
feel like we're a little spoiled.
We are very, very spoiled and we don't even know better.
Yeah, seriously. So what's your take on reaching across the aisle?
Yeah, I think that's been my brand, is trying to reach across the aisle. I don't think we
Thank God.
have enough people that do that anymore. I think that's our biggest problem. Federally, I think they all, on both sides of the aisle, just want to be famous. And so it becomes more about fame than it does about impact. Yeah. Local, you're starting to see that seep down into the local elections too. So that's a shame. But yeah, I don't know. Working across the aisle, it's both parties end up hating you at some level. But that's kind of
isn't that the goal?
Well, you know what? Here's an interesting stat. Only 1 out of every 10 people vote in primary elections. And that's the main issue. It's right. It's like that very small subset of people that is literally the alt-right or the alt-left is what's deciding candidates for the most part.
And that's kind of crazy because I'm very much like a person who's very central. Hi, you're a Republican. I'm a Democrat interviewing you. I don't even call myself a Democrat. I'm in the middle.
I was going to say, I don't even ask.
A different...
I don't even ask people what they are. You generally can tell if they start yelling at you or not. But I will just say, I don't know, me personally, we all go through different things. We all have lived experience, different issues. Parties aren't the monopoly of ideas. People are, because we live it. So it is what it is. I think at some point that'll break. I think it will. But I also think we've been so privileged in so many ways as a country, and people have had it so good. It's we've created new ways to create chaos with each other. Yeah.
I'm kind of over the chaos, to be honest with you.
I am too.
I'd rather just
It doesn't get anything done. I told someone in Dover the other day, I was like, honestly, the best bills are where everybody leaves not feeling as good about it as they could.
That's what
it means everybody,
compromise is.
and that's generally where you have the largest impact too.
Right.
That's just,
yeah,
it's all theater.
So what was one of them? Like, what is a specific instance where you're just like, I'm going to reach across the aisle and like, I'm going to get this shit done. And like, did you find success in that? Like, what is a story that you found success with?
I think sometimes you can, sometimes it's more often that you reach across the aisle and you don't.
Really?
I'd say paid family medical leave, Sarah McBride's bill.
Yes. I saw her at a diner in Rehoboth the other day.
Oh, she's running for Congress, so I'm sure you'll see her in lots of diners. But
it was like random. I was like, it's for Rehoboth on the off season.
Well, that's what's crazy about Delaware. You could literally see all three of your DC delegation at a random thing. One, you could go to a breakfast and see them. You could see one at a grocery store. You could see one like something else.
See somebody at Drip Cafe.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah. You can always count on that.
Right.
I would say like paid family medical leave was a good example of reaching across the aisle with her. Is we had it in committee. There was a lot of concerns. I'm big in the business community. It's more about implementation. When you have a workforce shortage and problem already, the type of business you are, how many employees you have, all of those things do matter.
Yeah.
If you're seasonal, if you're not, right? All of these things matter. And to her credit, like she worked on ironing several of those things out with me. She did not even need my vote on it, but she did want it to be the most bipartisan in the country. So she was willing to do that. And I was willing to get others to vote with me because of that. Now, others you could reach out across the aisle. Like recently, like people, guns and abortion, everybody like has the biggest thing about. But it's interesting if you look at like the details of the bill. Today we did one on, so doctors would not have any liability for gender affirming care for out of state residents. And for me, okay, like let's debate it. Everyone gets super passionate about it. And they don't go to the lines. But on line 5, it said, or instead of and I'm like, well, wait a second. If this bill's about holistic health, shouldn't say and. That way it's psychiatric and physical and whatever. And they're like, no, we can't make that substantive change. And so sometimes I'm like, wait a second.
Words matter.
What are we doing? Yeah. And so, but those words, especially and or really shows how the bill's then going to be implemented.
Or must.
Yeah. Shall, must, all of that. And so, I would say more often than not, you can reach across the aisle and not find consensus. I find there's certain people across the aisle you can reach out to and build consensus with. But a lot of them will not. Representative Kim Williams, she's a great example. She's the chair of education, chair of joint finance. I can work very well with Kim. She takes feedback well. She understands like everybody's shared value and opinion should have value. But some people on both sides, to be honest with you, like they do exactly what their party tells them to do, and it's hilarious. It's like you ever seen like the comedy where they just repeat the same buzzwords repeatedly? It's exactly what it's like dealing with both of them, and it's just like, what are we doing?
So obnoxious. Well, that just leads me to my next question. As a coach and a politician, who's easier to work with, the adult children in government or the children you coach sports for?
Children to coach sports for are much easier. They're better than their parent adult children that I have to deal with or the adult children in Dover.
And
though I will say though, youth sports can be more political than politics sometimes.
I feel that. I do feel that. Yeah, that's kind of, We
were dealing with some team drama the other day, and I'm literally sitting on the floor about the vote, and I just texted the group. I was like, "This is more political than my day job." Yeah. As I'm about to do it. It's just crazy.
So you also have a podcast called Mic'd Up with Mike Smith.
Yes, we do. So it's with my friend Dave MacArthur.
Yes.
And Dave does a great job. We've been on like a sabbatical or hiatus because Dave was going through some change in career, business, and all that. And so we're going to start it back up in 2 weeks.
Back up. Good.
But it's been more of he's having a third child too. And so we just took a sabbatical. We'll be back.
Going around.
But it's been good. We've gotten great feedback about it. People like to hear what's going on locally. They don't get a chance to get that sometimes. So we try to focus on different things.
So who was your favorite guest that you interviewed besides me?
Oh, okay. Good. Man. Gosh, that's a great question. I would say favorite guest besides you, maybe Robbie Jester. Maybe Chef Robbie, yeah, only because too, like he was just coming off of his experience, and so it was very timely as well.
Yes,
so
that was cool, dude. I didn't even know. Like we're watching that on Netflix, and we were like, No, like I literally,
Like, wait,
he's the
you won?
first one. Right.
won?
You won that
Yeah, and you
shit?
knew that? Yeah.
You knew that, Robbie?
And you
didn't tell us?
Yeah. You're blacklisted.
Rude.
My other was my friend Dave Henninger. We had done that Goggins challenge together, and that was kind of cool to recap because it's like you forget the carnage you put yourself through mentally and physically.
Right.
And then him and I were two of the only people I know that had done it. So
you
it
guys
was
are like kind of like flashbacks.
yeah, it's like nobody
and you
else
see
really
each other.
understood. Yeah, it was just that was kind of fun just to rehash that a little bit.
Dude, that's freaking cool. So what is it like to have one of the most generic names known to man?
Yeah, it's terrible. I actually introduce myself as the John Doe of Delaware a lot of the time. On my honeymoon, way back when, I actually like coming back into the country has always been hard for me because I guess there's another like Michael Francis Smith with a close enough social security number that's been wanted or something.
No
so coming
way.
back in, I always get like kind of detained for an extra half
Stop.
hour. Yeah, and I'm just kind of used to it, so I don't even break stride. And I joke around. I'm like, I'll be back. My full cavity search comes in 5.
So wait. So how do they not? Okay, but how was your like? I guess the vetting process for becoming state rep then? Were they like, oh,
It's just, it is
you're
what
a little close to
actually,
that guy.
I'll tell you, you want to hear something crazy about that real quick? There is another Michael Smith running for office this year in a different district.
I was about to say
different
here?
district.
Oh, no.
No, different district.
Taking your brand.
Different district. His middle initial is A. That could get weird. So I will not be rooting for him, unfortunately, for name purposes only.
Dude, why don't you
Though I'm older,
team up, man?
I'm older.
Be like Mike Smith squared.
I'm the only. I have always wanted a twin to like go to class for me and things like that. So
or go to committee.
Yeah. I'll definitely go to committee. That'd be great. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Absolutely.
Oh my god. So I have a question for actually to benefit Delawareans.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been to Devil's Road, and do you have any insider government information we should be aware of regarding this road?
Devil's Road. What's Devil's Road?
Okay, well you should do your research because
Is that
that's
in
very
22nd
Delaware.
Is it in the 22nd district?
It's
Exactly.
in the back. So it is in the back roads of 52.
Oh, okay.
You go look it up. It's apparently a haunted road here in Delaware.
Okay.
It's called Devil's Road.
Okay.
And when you go down this road, apparently the tree branches, you know how tree branches like hang over a road?
Yeah.
The tree branches all hang off and away, grow away from this road. And they also say that
Does it get ghost funding?
dead baby sacrifices happened in a dead
What?
baby tree. So this is some
know
Delaware
nothing about
folklore
this.
shit, bro.
I know nothing about this.
Maybe you should do a little investigative work,
I know
Mike.
much more about March Madness. I'm not even good at that. So who knows?
Oh my God.
Devil's around. Okay. All right.
I'm just saying.
I'm going to have to drive that.
Yeah, okay. I mean,
A
maybe.
Follow up. Yeah, I'm going to drive that. I'll record the whole thing in case it's the last moments I'm here.
Live from Devil's Road.
I made it out. Ha.
Yeah, you'll be chased out by a bunch of apparently black Suburbans.
I've almost already died once this year, so I'm already good. It's not going to happen twice, statistically
happened,
speaking.
dude?
So I'm allergic to everything on some level, indoor and outdoor allergies.
Oh.
And I went in anaphylactic shock getting my allergy shots to the point where like I ended up first kind of hunched over walking back. But then I had lost all ability to breathe. My face had blew up. My hands. I started throwing up, projectile vomiting.
Yeah, what?
Yeah,
So
and so to the point where I'm army crawling. Oh my God. And then all of a sudden, I just noticed my lips went blue, and people were like, "Call 911." I'm like trying to get back up to the spot because I knew they'd have EpiPens or whatever. I've never been in shock before. But I just remember feeling this way doing a Spartan once, and I was like, I can get to the finish line.
I will beat this.
I will.
This allergy.
This will not defeat me. I was there for about 5 hours to get my numbers back, and then I'll never forget. I was about to leave, and I was like, "Hey guys, thanks for your help. Can I work out tonight?" They were like, "No,
sir.
No, your body's in recovery,
take a beat, bro."
I was like, "All right, fine. I'll do it tomorrow."
Oh my God, fine. It'll be leg and arm day tomorrow.
Yeah,
then
I'll go easy tomorrow. I won't do any cardio.
Yeah, yeah, you did cardio.
I did.
You did. I did. So we are at the portion of the podcast where do you Delaware?
Okay.
How much does
Delaware?
the Miles the Monster, the iconic statue at Dover International Speedway, weigh?
Does it weigh?
How much does it weigh?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I know it's exactly a mile.
This is true.
Yeah,
You
do
got
know
the
that.
length correct. Apparently 3 T-Rexes. So,
Wow.
Or 4,000 cats.
Fun fact that I've only been to one race ever, and it was there.
Oh.
And I had black soot on my face, like from the tires
I
and
bet.
stuff coming up.
Dude, that's a good time, though. That's
I
a
couldn't
nice
hear
little
for a
thrill.
week either.
That's very helpful in
Yes,
committee.
yeah, huh?
What? Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
We'll vote on party lines.
yeah.
How many DuPont family members are there?
Well, so that's a trick question because there's carpenters and there's other types of people that are in the DuPont
Okay,
family.
yeah, it kind of is a trick
37
question. Oh, okay. Well, apparently in the whole big
that are alive.
yeah, the whole big bracket of all those like the
We
bracket.
should do a DuPont bracket.
DuPont March Madness bracket. Apparently, there are 3,500 DuPont family members in like the tree that populate 50 towns in Delaware.
Wow.
But I don't know. ChatGPT may be lying.
None of them are last name Smith, so I haven't seen them any at Christmas. That's for sure.
And nor do you want to.
No.
How many times more chickens than people does Delaware have? 2, 20, 200, or 2,000?
20.
That's 200. 200 times.
I did know this because I've heard this before because 2 members of my caucus also own chicken farms.
Ah, yes. Did you see that post on Letty's Kitchen about that?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
About the chicken.
Oh my gosh, Tom.
You said he ran into him. Tom. All right. And
You'll
what
do
is
anything for that chicken, won't you, Tom?
He will. That's his favorite, chicken pot pie. What is the Delaware state herb? Sweet goldenrod, thyme, sweet onion, or peppermint?
I was an honor roll student. I'm getting none of these right.
Dude, you're not Delaware, bro.
State herb?
Yeah. We have a state herb.
I have no idea.
It's sweet goldenrod.
I can't even cook.
Sweet goldenrod, bro.
Goldenrod?
Goldenrod.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'm like being educated right now. This is fantastic.
Now you know.
Now I know.
You know.
I'm just waiting to answer something that I know.
Do 30 minutes. We don't do hours.
Yeah,
Here.
no.
Who has the time span for an hour?
Sometimes if Dave and I don't shut up, it happens.
Okay, so you've worked closely with both the Economic Development and the Veterans Affairs committees, yes?
Yes, had Veterans Affairs today, actually.
So which committee would win in a cage match? If you had to like pit the two committees against
Oh,
one
okay.
another.
Well, Veterans Affairs because they have more people on the committee.
Oh, okay.
Economic
Not like
Development has less
not about
members.
like brawn or like burliness. Like who?
I
would-
mean, how are you pitting the teams? Is it down party lines?
I guess
Because I'm crushing everybody. So whose team am I on?
He doesn't miss a workout.
Yeah, whose team am I on?
I don't know.
I'm
That's
not
a good
gonna.
freaking question.
I mean, not to throw shade, I wouldn't say most of my colleagues could enter a cage match. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm gonna say.
Term limits.
It's my politically correct way of saying
age
that.
limits.
Yeah,
Term
yeah.
limits.
Not to be ageist.
Not to be
but,
ageist, but
yeah.
hey, you have to be 16 to drive.
That's true.
I'm saying you have to
That's
be
true.
18 to vote. You have to be 21 to drink. There are limits on ages, and they're not being ageist.
That's true.
So I'm
Which is
just-
crazy
I'm just
when
saying.
like both members, both people running for president are.
I should have asked who would have won in like a Walker race.
Oh my gosh, probably me. I have them all at my house. My grandma, I'm living there. Yeah.
Oh, Graham lives with you still?
No, she passed. She since passed right before COVID.
R.I.P. Man.
But she raised me, and she lived with me for a long time. Yeah.
Grandmoms are the best.
Oh, she was. Yes, there's a show idea. Me, My Man, and Nan from like the early years. Yeah.
That would have been like gold.
Oh, the
gold,
stuff
Jerry.
she would say and do, like trying to raise children at the same time. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god,
It's amazing.
I love it. So knowing that you know my family, what do you think of my mom?
Your mom's the best. We've spoken while door knocking there, and so many times. Actually, did she tell you the last time I saw her? Saw her at Acme.
No.
Leaving Acme. Yeah, and we talked about movies.
She loves a good movie.
I just got done working out, so I looked a little wild.
My mom's hilarious. That's why I asked.
She's the best. She's the best.
It's Sue. Oh, Sue. So if you had to choose a walk-up song every time you entered a committee meeting,
Yeah.
what song would you choose?
The Real Slim Shady. by
Would
Eminem.
Stop.
I would.
Why?
Yeah. Because that's awesome.
Oh my God.
I think people would be like, "Oh, here we
Here
go."
we go.
Yeah.
Here comes Mike Smith.
Come
down
on,
the
that's
aisle.
hilarious. And actually, there's a picture. I actually had that look back in high school at one point. My grandma even shaved it and bleached my head. Dead serious. Dead serious.
He's coming out with a
I
new
wish I
album,
was
hear.
kidding. He is this year, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
Dre.
exciting.
Dre dropped
Dude,
that
what?
on some show, on some late night show. Him and 50 Cent dropped it.
Yes, that's so exciting.
I love it.
Like I think that's why
I grew up with him.
But me too.
Yeah.
I'm not I love Taylor Swift. But I'm not a Swiftie. But I grew up with like.
Apparently, I know
Eminem.
Taylor Swift songs, but I don't know Taylor Swift is singing
It's
them.
kind of
That's-
like ingrained in
Yeah,
our
I
brain
don't-
at this point.
but yeah,
So
I mean-
liminally put there by iPods or something.
I'm notoriously terrible at knowing lyrics to songs, except rap songs. It's like I know them verbatim.
Dude,
It's crazy.
yes,
My brain is weird.
Dude, we're simpatico,
Yes.
bro. I love a good rap song.
But the walk up song, I got that when I won for being the most bipartisan legislator in the country. I actually, by the millennial, now Delaware, or the Future Caucus in D.C. in December. And it was funny. They actually asked me that. What would your walk up song be? I'm
no
like,
way.
real Slim Shady.
Dude, what?
Didn't even break stride.
Man, I thought I was asking like unique questions and shit.
Well, it's
No.
nice to actually know the answer to something
That's
ahead of
true.
time. That's great. Thank you.
Trying to stump y'all ass
Yeah.
this whole time. So can you share your experience with the recent legislative increasing penalties for the long-term care facilities? Right? Did you
Oh,
work
the
on
newest
that?
bills that are
Yeah.
out there. Well, I think that's going to be interesting. So it's really been driven by Senator Spirits Mansavinos, who is one of the overlapping senators in my area. I understand a lot of it because of my grandmom, but I will say there needs to be more dialogue on it. Because one thing I'll say is some of the smaller nonprofit long-term care facilities,
Yeah.
they could absolutely close because of this. And then we have bigger access issue if we
shit.
do that.
Yeah.
So I do think there needs to be some more collaboration on it, learning after the fact, which that's healthy.
Yeah.
The strategy is sometimes you put out a bill and that forces dialogue, or you
Right.
work on it ahead of time and you have consensus
Yeah,
ahead
dude.
of time, right? Or sometimes you just throw a bill out there to start a discussion.
Right.
And so I think this one's more of you put the bill out there to try to learn what
Try
else
to
you need to
learn.
add
Yeah.
and change. And
Have you
so
like talked to any of like the?
oh yeah, a
long-
bunch of them
yeah,
today
yeah.
actually down there,
okay.
because they had like nonprofit advocacy day down
Yeah.
there, and then there was a bunch of hospital bills and things like that down there today. So I've spoken to a bunch of them, and I think I get some of their concerns. And I don't necessarily think the original drafter spoke to all the groups, which
Right.
honestly, there's so many groups to talk to. It's
So many.
I don't think anybody has any
Between
malice
hospice
or
and all
ill
of the
intent.
different-
Yeah, it's just,
yeah.
I think you just got to be, because here's the thing. I think everybody, when you go to long-term care, they have the expectation that you're going to get the same as in-home care. And the problem with that is if you get in-home care, then we're doing it.
Well, yeah.
Right. And you're going to know your patient better because you grew up with them or were raised by them or whatever the case is. But in there, it's like a totally different standard. And I think the biggest issue we have right now in long-term care
Yeah.
is most of the CNAs, English is their second language. And so that's a barrier for
was a
folks
CNA.
as they,
That's why I asked.
as they age. Right.
Yeah.
And so, it's something that we have to consider. Me personally, I think we need to get to a place where we can incentivize people to stay home longer with their loved ones.
Yes.
And I think that has to be financial.
Yes.
I also think it has to go to a workforce perspective of like from an online training or through SEED, how can we then stay up to date on what we're going to do next
Right.
while we're at home with our loved one?
Yes.
Because the biggest thing you don't want is a gap in that resume, because that's how you
Right.
have a hard enough time getting a job again.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
anyway.
mean, I was a CNA for a good 2 years, and definitely see the benefits of at-home care. But we also, I think, need to like be training on the CNA level more so than and across the board for in-home care and.
Well, it's
at
tough. I mean, a
long-term.
lot of these folks, a lot of them at
Dude,
some point are going to
CNA is
have,
hard as shit.
and they're going to have dementia or they're going to have Alzheimer's or
Dude,
memory care, I guess is probably the best way to put it. They're going to need some
Yes.
level of memory care.
Yes.
And not everybody's trained on how to deal with the anger that comes when that
Yes.
happens
Yes.
and saying the same thing over and over again or a lot
Asking
of the
questions
the
over and
the
over
behavior
again.
change.
Yeah,
The behavior
yeah.
change, yeah.
It's difficult shit, dude.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. So you have 3 kids at home, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. You probably have lots of memorable moments.
Yeah.
Which kid's the most savage, though?
Oh, my middle son, Nathan, for sure.
Yeah.
He's the most like me.
Savage thing he's ever done ever.
Honestly, like, it's things that he does. It's also things that he says. Like, he remembers everything. So he'll literally like do something you've done in your voice right back to you. Or like he'll walk up to like his Uncle Josh and just be like, yeah, like go like this when he hits a basket because Josh is shorter than most of us, right? And Nate's like tiny. And he just does all kinds of things. He was also, when I was running, right? He would like rip his like pants off at like doors. He would rip his shirt off and throw it at people. He would like one time ripped his diaper off and chucked it. Like, he's just a wild kid. I love him.
How old is he?
He is 9 now.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so I just coach his basketball team, and now I'm one of the coaches for his baseball team, and I love that kid. He's so fun. He's one of these kids that doesn't have to be on technology all the time. He wants to go out and play.
Yes.
But like, you need to go play with him. And
yes.
And so
that's how my 8-year-old is.
Yeah, I just live by the mantra, like, you're never too tired or busy to go play with your kids. So when they do it, just say yes and figure out the rest later. But
right.
He put in the
Bring
latest
snacks and some water.
The latest thing is like we got a trampoline for Christmas, and he jumps as high as he can, and I got to throw this football, and he tries to do like one-handed catches on it and stuff. So dude, like, what? But we'll do that for like 3 hours like straight. Yeah, like he'll he can do 57 push-ups at one time. So like he'll train with me. He's a little beast.
Dude, that's freaking amazing.
Love
I love
it.
that shit.
Yeah.
Oh man, so Scrapple, yes or no, and why or why not?
I'm a bacon or sausage guy
over
Scrapple. So I guess that makes me like anti-Delaware, but
dude, I guess.
But I will say my grandma never made it. My grandma always made bacon or sausage, and I just
or ham.
And honestly, I like the crunchiness of bacon or the softness of sausage. I don't like crunchy soft of, and that's how I'll explain it.
Makes sense.
There we go.
Wow, there you
go. There you go.
I hate Scrapple too. So,
I mean, I'll eat whatever.
Bump mics on the hating of the food.
Yeah. I'm a walking garbage disposal of food, but like I'll eat anything.
Where do you put it?
No, I literally eat anything. I'll eat anything.
You got like a hollow leg over there.
Thank you.
Wooden foot or some shit because you just like you eat.
It feels like I do when I wake up.
You're like.
I feel 90 when I wake up.
Bottle that and sell it. We need to do something.
Deal.
Question specifically for Hockessin people.
Yeah.
How's that cell tower coming?
Yeah, 2 are coming. So the one.
2?
Yeah, 2. So one in the Brackenville area, which is in private property. So that's why it's taking longer on that one.
Right.
And then the one that should be done within like 3 to 4 months. Though.
Okay.
And then the other one is coming at the Hockessin Pal.
Yes.
And that one from a
there
county.
answers your question, Ray.
Yeah.
My dad had a question about what you're going to do with the Pal.
Yeah. So
you guys have a cell tower going. Perfect.
That's it. And that one from a land use perspective will be easy because the county owns the property. They're having a problem with the vendor though of getting like everything else. Supply chain's kind of jacked up a little bit. But yeah, 2. And I'm actually trying to get one in York Lynn too, but like that's kind of facilitated based off the master plan. But I'm trying to argue it's a safety issue because a lot of people, when you go there, you have no service at all. So how do you deal with that? So anyway, we're all good.
So question about York Lynn.
Yeah.
What the hell? There's so much shit going back there. Like there's that. Are those townhomes going back there?
Yeah, so there's a whole master plan, and I can't say that all of it has been verified by the state because you also have to clean up the area, you have to decommission it, build in certain areas, not in others. Go
clean
through public
up the
meetings.
Area.
Oh yeah,
freaking NVF. Yeah,
property.
I know.
Yeah,
I used to live back there. I used to live on Old Public Road. Back there, and we had a well.
I wish you lived back there instead of those neighbors that complained about Dew Point.
I know. Shout out to Dew Point.
Yeah, shout out to Dew Point.
But not those neighbors. Stop.
Dew Point.
Because I just wonder about what MVF did to that groundwater over there. You know
it's hard to say. I will say I also work at the UD Star campus, so I'm semi familiar with what you have to go through from a regulatory perspective. And look, one thing I do know is we put a lot of money aside, even before I was elected and through me being elected, to make sure that we do it right. Okay, so that I'm very confident that we can do that. Yeah. No, I'm very confident. We've been putting money away for 16 years.
Dude, word. So. Clean that shit up.
Yeah.
And thanks, NVF.
Clean that shit up. That's the message.
Clean that shit up.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think social media, because that's what I do on social media, you have a podcast and we all have a freaking podcast. Do you think it's shitty or shitty for society or good for society or a double-edged sword?
I think it's absolutely a double-edged sword, but it's probably more shitty than it is good. I think it was good. And I think a lot of good things morph into bad over time if they don't stay the course on what they were. If you look at what Facebook really was, it was not what it is today. No. There was MySpace at the time. That was kind of what Facebook is now.
Well, Facebook actually was trying to be the you remember Hot or Not?
Yeah,
hotornot.com.
yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg made a Facebook to rate women of Harvard. That was what Facebook initially was.
And then it became your college email.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you needed a .edu email to get up in there. It's crazy.
To me personally, I was actually talking with somebody about this today. I think the 24-hour news cycle in combination with social media has ruined us, because here's why. Yeah. Most of the people won't watch the actual news anymore because they get their news from social media.
Yes.
But then they get their news with social media with someone who's attached their opinion to it and not the news. And so I do think it's done way more harm than good. I think it's absolutely harming our children more than anything. I actually have an age verification bill for porn companies, because even on social media you get people that they click through to that stuff, and kids don't know the difference.
They don't.
And so for me personally, I'm a big believer. One thing I'd love to do in schools is you even put phone lockers in every classroom, and we'll pay off student lunch debt of the school. We'll do whatever.
Dude, so good.
In order to say when instruction time's there, you do it. Because if you think about it, your phone, we're attached to them too much too. I'd say even right. And so it's if you feel it vibrate and it's in your pocket, you're more likely to look at it while you're doing something, interacting, than you are waiting until after you're done that. Yeah. And so, at the time I thought it was good. I think it's morphed into definitely more bad than good. And I'm not exactly sure where we go from here on it, to be honest with you. I don't know that there's a good answer, because like everything else, the problem is there's people with power and money behind it. And it has to be a federal government thing. You have to. And then to me, it's the Biden administration saying, and Congress saying, let's ban TikTok. And I get it because of what they're saying, the People Republic of China or whatever. But if you do ban TikTok,
you need to ban it. Facebook.
Correct. You have to ban them all. And then you just go back. And me personally, I do think we need to go back to more traditional things, no more Chromebooks in schools. Just go back to regular paper and things like that.
It's too integrated now, though.
Yeah,
it really is.
Well, when do you read a book? I mean, you go in there, it's the Chromebook's there, asynchronous day. You need to be on your Chromebook. Everything's, and then what? They're not going to be on an iPad or a phone?
Yeah, I get it. It's a tough call. And that's why I stick to real estate and food.
Yeah.
I can't literally.
I'm hungry now.
I literally cannot do anything. I can't make anything bad about that. You can't screw up food or houses.
I do try to stay off social media for long periods of time if I can. Just go on to do something and then be done with it too. Because then you get a lot of people, they want to be these social media warriors and keyboard warriors. But then you see them in person, man, they won't say anything to you. I'm like, come on, man.
We know a bunch of people like that.
A lot of people like that. A lot of people like that.
Well, this was definitely interesting, fun, amazing, joyous. I mean, I just like talking
all
to
the
you.
Adjectives. I love all the adjectives.
Yeah, man. So final words. Anything you want to leave to the people of Delaware, the people of Into the Black?
Yeah. I would say stop choosing parties over people. Start listening to the ideas. Start treating politics the way we treat jobs. It's an interview. See what people's ideas are. See if they're willing to work with you on their ideas. See if they're willing to listen to you. And guess what? Don't just take them at face value. See how they are. See what their character, integrity are, and what they're actually doing. We will be much better off.
Dude. Amazing. Mike Smith. Applause. All the things. Mike, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Black.
Appreciate it.
You're a freaking man.
Cheers.